Now, the last thing I want to say is, and this is, again, we can learn this from history. Look at Clubhouse, look at TikTok, look at Instagram, look at anything you care to mention, pretty much. The people who make the most out of AI at the moment, I'm not talking about the people, the technological innovators who own the systems. I don't mean those right now. That's I'm talking about lay people, I suppose, people who use the technology. The people who will make the most out of AI are going to be the people who are selling you how to use AI secrets.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with everything. I mean, I said this often because it's true. It's much easier to sell the how-to than to do the how-to. This is why we've got everyone is fucking on as a coach. This is why we had so many people become life coaches, because it's much easier. I've got a fucking spider coming down my screen. Now you can't see it on there. I love spiders. I've got. It's really distracting. This is why. When say growing a business or sorting your life out for life coaches or being great on LinkedIn, it's much easier to sell the idea of, hey, I can show you how to make money doing this thing than it is to do the thing yourself and make money from it. And if you doubt me, just think of all the people, and I bet everyone has seen this. If you're on LinkedIn, I bet you've seen this. People who've got LinkedIn trainer getting you quality leads from your LinkedIn posts, etc., your LinkedIn content. That's what they do. And I bet you've seen the people who do that posting saying, I'm struggling to get leads. Why aren't you using your own fucking system? And if you are, it's clearly not working. Why are people selling stuff, say, on Instagram and TikTok? How to get billions of followers without paid advertising, selling it with paid advertising. How does that work? How is that not? How are people not seeing that going, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, it is easier to sell the how-to than it is to do the how-to. Now, we sell the how-to. I'm not going to deny that. But you know what? We do the how-to, and we've done the how-to. And I've done the how-to for myself and others as well. You know?
And also, we sit and consult with you to make sure you're implementing it correctly. It's not just preaching from the, what's it called? What's that wooden
pulpit.
Thing called?
The pulpit.
We're not preaching from the pulpit and then telling you to fuck off and figure it out. Well, we are if you're not paying us. But for those that pay us.
Yeah, obviously.
For those that pay us, we invite you into the preach chambers after and encourage you to bring your children.
Buggy,
there's how do I say this without saying it, John?
I don't know because I don't know what you're saying.
There's a guy who is an old school internet marketer. His first name begins with a P. He's written, that's a clue, he's written lots of books on things like The Ultimate Guide to Facebook, The Ultimate Guide to TikTok, The Ultimate Guide to everything. It's just everything's immediately a book. He's got one on Clubhouse too, funnily enough. Is this helping you ring any bells?
No.
They've got a glasses and a goatee. Very popular back in the day, about Facebook ads in particular.
I think I might know who it was. He very big at Google AdWords at one point?
Yeah.
I think I know who you mean. He's religious.
Yeah, very, I think.
Yes, I know who you mean.
Okay. Anyway, it finished not long ago, because if I give the dates away, everyone would definitely be able to piece it together. They just ran an event called, well, it was all about the future of generating traffic and lead generation using AI, and how you have to use AI now with all of your online ads. And if you're not using AI with all of your ads, you're a fucking dum-dum and you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I was right, it is him.
Yeah, and a good friend of ours, a client privately of both of ours in the past, has attended said seminar.
Oh yeah, he's very big on this guy.
Yeah. And it just makes me a bit icky. A bit icky.
Icky.
It's like, it's interesting. If it was on the radio whilst I was driving home from football, I'd listen. But I think it's way too early to be charging a lot of money to say you're an expert authority on something that is changing by the minute.
Something you don't understand anyway.
Mm.
Yeah, I despair of the human race at times. Something, and I'm not blowing my own horn here for no reason, something I've had said to me often over the years, and it's even in some of the testimonials, I believe, so I'm clearly not making this up. And I'm talking about clients who've been with me for 15 years or more. They say, one of the things we really like about you, John, is your message doesn't change. I'm talking the same way about email marketing, pricing, positioning, sales. The same now pretty much as I've always done. The details sometimes change as I learn more. The nuances change. And sometimes technology allows things to develop. They're just tactical. But the principles I talk about, assertiveness, positioning, negotiation, none of that changes. And that's the thing about fundamentals. Fundamentals do not change.
There's a really good book. Sorry,
go on.
John.
I was just going to...
You was just going to what?
I was just going to say, by analogy, human beings are the same now as they were, say, 50,000 years ago. The objective development, evolution of our bodies and brains is negligible. You could take someone, you could pluck someone in a time machine back from 10,000 years ago, put them in a modern day kindergarten baby, and they grow up to be an adult and they'd be indistinguishable, other than at the genetic level slightly, from any other human being on the planet. All right, so we haven't changed, but people keep saying, "Oh yeah, we've changed. That this is a new paradigm." No, the changes are superficial and surface. Fundamentally, the same. It's the same with these principles I'm talking about. The fundamental principles of business and marketing, etc., haven't changed. They never will. Well, not while we kill human anyway. They don't change, and I've been preaching that, and that's why our stuff works and why it still works, and it will continue to work. Anyway, carry on. What were you going to say?
I know this episode was about AI, but I do think the big takeaway from everyone is the importance of thinking in, first order principles.
Yes, I agree.
From
critical thinking
sources. Yeah, but establish the principles across, loosely related fields to the one that you want to be an expert in. If you understand all of the principles, and then you can think critically on top of that and come up with, logical, good conclusions, that's irresistible. That's thought leadership. Side note, saw someone on LinkedIn the other day. They've got a full-time job. Their tagline was thought leadership for entrepreneurs. Can you be a thought leadership for entrepreneurs with a full-time job?
Not really. Yeah. Unless that is your job somewhere, I suppose.
No. The job was public service.
No, you can't really.
The book recommendation I was going to make is it's a book called Principles by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is he runs BlackRock or Blackstone management consulting. It's an investment firm. His story is amazing. He's now extremely, incredibly rich. And the only books he's ever written are all about principles. There's 4 of them. The one I recommend is Principles for Life and Work, to be exact. But there's 3 other ones I do believe about other areas of life. He's recently brought something out. It's a little journal, actually. It comes with some videos and a book, I do believe. And it's all about developing your own principles for life and business. And it's a 3-month or so program. Now, I can't speak to that because I haven't done it. However, looks very interesting. But read Principles, Life and Work by Ray Dalio. Incredible book.
Here's the thing. Principles are, they're like building blocks.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says in the book. He was a shit investor.
I'm a genius.
And he built he manages billions of pounds now in his investment firm. Billions of other people's money. And he says the only reason he ever got there is because all he ever did was look for the principles and then followed the rules that the principles portrayed.
And on the other hand, tactics are like, say, decorations, movable furniture, paint. They are useless. No, they sit within the house, on the foundations, cling to the walls. But without those principles, if you try and put, say, a roof on weak walls, the walls will collapse. If you put the roof on the floor, you don't have rooms at all. So tactics are built on the correct principles. Principles support the correct tactic. Too many people don't know the difference between the two, don't understand why the difference between the two is so critical, and probably worst of all, can't distinguish between the two. And we've got that with AI. AI is a tactical thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you stick to the principles, you may or may not need AI or be able to use AI. I sometimes do it. I will sometimes write, say, 2 or 3 paragraphs, and if I've been writing for a long time and I'm tired, I'll put them into ChatGPT and I'll say, do these paragraphs make sense, or should they be 1 paragraph or 2? Something like that. It's quite a detailed prompt, and it will tell me. And probably 80% of the time I'm right in what I've done. Sometimes it will suggest some changes, which I often ignore because it can't see the full context of what I'm doing. But it's a sanity check. That's a tactical use of something. It's a tool. Okay. I do not write the book by saying, here's what I want to say, tell me how to say it.
And we're still sending it off to someone, aren't we?
A human being who's got 40 years experience as a proofreader and copy editor. There's a talent with which that's a pretty good place to wind this up, I think.